Okay. Drink.
Okay.
I hate I be wanting to throw stuff at him all show.
Okay.
I ain't do it that way. Drink champs. Mr. West. We saw it. Everybody saw it.
Saw it.
Did you see it? You seen it? Red August seen it? Jay Moore seen it?
Saw about an hour and a half of it.
Yeah, that's how dedicated I am to this podcast. Because I didn't want to come in and have opinions just off of clips. So I actually listened to the whole thing.
Let's be careful. And the reason I'm saying be careful because this will easily spill over and over and over. So let's be mindful as we toss it around.
I mean, if we don't need to get into our third topic, I think we'd probably be all right.
That's what I was going to ask you. If that's the case, because there's a lot to unpack here. So we may maybe
in that case we probably should have talked about Aaron Rodgers, but oh well.
So we can do this one. We might. So you said it might be. We can take a break and then continue, perhaps.
No, we're not going to do that.
All right, cool. All right, so check this out. Kanye, Drink Champs. Shout out to Nore and DJ. Is it EFN? I always mess that up.
This is the first Drink Champs episode I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, I don't watch podcasts.
You don't do that or
shows.
verses? Yeah. Okay.
I just don't watch talk shows like that.
It's hard for me
or listen to podcasts.
Just because Nore interrupts good stories so often.
That's what I've heard.
I'll give Nore.
I think he did pretty decent.
I'll give Nore peas on this.
I feel like he did a lot better on this because there's other ones where I'm like, could you please stop clapping?
This is the first one I did watch all the way through.
and he said,
well, Kanye said during the interview, no claps and no horns. He specifically said that during the interview.
Nore will be so he'll be so what's the word I'm looking for?
Drunk?
Inebriated. Yeah, we'll do that.
Inebriated.
Yeah, I was gonna say inebriated. He's drunk. And he'll just make some noise and clap for just anything. Like
he's been sitting there taking shots the whole time, and probably just before. You know how we chill before the show. I'm sure they do the same.
They
thing.
really chilling though. But I'm just gonna toss it around and to the room, and you guys give me your thoughts about the interview. For me, I think it's one of the best ones they've ever done. Honestly, like probably top 3 or 5 maybe that I've seen that they've done. Easily top 3 or 5. Shout out to Nore for staying out the way. I mean, it seemed like Kanye was pretty much Kanye throughout the whole thing. Like we knew. I didn't think it was going to be this clear. It kind of went off the rail a little bit, but I just liked hearing him talk about music. Yeah. Like when he was talking about Busta's voice, when he was talking about Mobb Deep, when he was talking about influences. Yeah, like the more he started talking about music and how things appeal to him and how he hears certain things, I thought all that was dope. I enjoyed that more than a lot of the other stuff. But hearing him talk about music and giving Beans his props about calling him Yeezy, I thought that was dope. Like I heard he's gonna give him like 50 million and like 1.5 a Yeezy in stock, like shareholder. That's dope if he does that.
You better get it in writing.
True.
Yeah.
So I thought all that was dope. I mean, he dragged John Legend. I laughed at some of the jokes.
Oh shit!
Destroyed 𝐇𝐄𝐀𝐿 my only beef is the Just Blaze.
Now, really, he destroyed Big Sean.
He killed Big Sean.
If we don't talk about who he destroyed,
he's just bitter.
Yeah.
But the Just Blaze thing, I didn't like that.
I didn't like any of that. I didn't like the Just Blaze, the Big Sean,
I didn't like
𝐇𝐿𝐶,
the Just Blaze
because the only reason he said anything about Big Sean or 𝐇𝐿𝐶 is because Kanye was out there doing stupid stuff politically and kissing Trump's face and wearing a red hat, and they came out and said something again. And Kanye didn't. He felt disrespected because of that. That's the only reason he said anything.
𝐶𝐿𝐶 is a person that threw him lobs in the early portion of his career too. If we're gonna keep it a buck,
and 𝐶𝐿𝐶 went on record and actually his response was just like quoting things that Kanye has said about him.
Yeah.
He used his name for picking up dimes.
Yeah, but
the Just Blaze copycat thing was trash. That's trash. Like, first of all, Just Blaze his production style is closer to Binks than it is Kanye's to begin with.
He thinks he's way better than he is.
Second of all, Jay-Z clearly said, and he said on the interview, he was like, I said everybody bring in soul samples. Like,
that was the assignment.
That's the assignment. What do you mean copy? Like, Just Blaze, there's nothing on there that sound like anything copied anybody on
Just Blaze sounds like Just Blaze.
Thank you. And
he has his own sound.
But he's way closer to Bink than he is to Kanye. So that was trash. Like, I'm cool on that. But I mean, it's one of the best interviews they've done, hands down. Probably top 5 for me. Jay Diff, go ahead.
I mean, I just enjoyed the interview. I'm the resident Kanye fan, so I have to speak from that point of view. And I mean, I this was the most I wouldn't say eloquent that Kanye has been.
I know what you mean, though.
But it's the most straightforward, on the same path.
Yes.
Not deviating and going over here and over there. It was raw, and it was Kanye. I mean, it was the same guy who we met on the College Dropout.
I would agree.
How many years later? I mean, he was the same guy, and he made some good points. He had, his opinion on certain things, maybe even like you said, the Just Blaze situation. As far as biting,
yeah, that's cap.
I can't necessarily say that Just Blaze is a biter.
Definitely can't say
that's
that.
cap.
You can't say that.
That's cap.
Now, as far as his success, measuring his success, that is some Kanye stuff, and that goes back to your point before we started the show, as far as him being a narcissist.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you can't measure your success on what somebody else wants their success to be. I may not want to be this fashion designer, producer,
politician,
Jesus Christ superstar type cat like you are. That's not what I aspire to be.
Yeah.
I mean, Just Blaze came from a pretty good upbringing, for those that know his story.
Yep.
So he's probably not even tripping on out here making all this money. I'm pretty sure he's doing pretty good for himself.
Just Blaze is beyond comfortable.
Yeah, he's beyond comfortable.
Yeah, he's
anybody that was on those early albums.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
beyond comfortable.
Yeah,
So-
he's doing his thing. But Kanye was in his bag in some of those talking points that he made. He gave Jay his props as far as when it came up to the whole versus thing.
Yeah.
He pretty much said he will verse anybody and he will win against anybody, and pretty much there has to be like 4 categories or something like that. But he said he will not go against Jay because that's his boss.
The boss.
And that's respect, because without Jay-Z and without Dame Dash, there is no Kanye. Nobody was giving him the keys to get into the door without Rockefeller.
He gave Dame peas too.
He definitely gave Dame peas.
Yeah, he gave Dame peas.
I'm glad to see everybody giving Dame peas, to be honest.
He
with you.
deserves it.
He does. But I mean, as we talk further, I can come up with more points as far as what this is about. But I think he did a good job as far as this interview is concerned.
Jay Moore, talk to me, man. Give it to me.
I actually enjoyed the interview because I feel like this is the first time in a long time I feel like we're actually hearing Kanye's voice, as opposed to a representative or somebody who's trying to make someone happy. I don't know. But this is something that I think we all need to come to terms with, is that Kanye West has always been kind of a terrible person. But
he's not a terrible person.
No, I'm putting it in context. But he's been
kind of a terrible person.
He's
jerk,
but he's been a terrible person. At one point, he was a terrible person on behalf of us, the culture, if you will. When he said that thing about George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Facts.
But at the same time, that was a terrible thing to do. When he ran up on stage for to do the thing at Taylor Swift, could we feel him? Yeah, but that was a terrible thing to do.
That wasn't very nice.
When he screamed on the people at the first American Music Awards where he was nominated, and you got to understand, the American Music Awards, that's not opinions. Yeah. That is about putting numbers together. The people who win that, it's about airplay, record sales, this, that, and third. And he's back there screaming, and Alicia Keys has to calm him down because he feels like he just deserves these awards.
Why you think me and Dame cool?
Yeah.
But
blank.
Like I said, he's been a terrible person on a certain level, but he was a terrible person what we felt like on our behalf. When it switched and we felt like he was being a terrible person.
Why you gotta be terrible though? Why you gotta use the word
saying
terrible?
What I'm saying.
Hey, gave you a couple examples of terrible now.
That's not necessarily terrible.
But then
I kind of agree with him.
But then when he decides to go
get back to
ahead
terrible.
and tap dance for this white supremacist in the White House.
That's terrible.
And
okay.
But you know what? That's consistent. He's been consistent.
Yeah.
And
he's been consistent since the beginning, though.
Consistently terrible. Maybe terrible is but you know what? These are things where like this is wildly erratic and antisocial behavior. And the thing is, it's just crazy to me how can you call these other people sellouts when you were hugging Donald Trump and calling him your dad and saying the red hat is like giving you superpowers, especially when
that was extra.
Especially when
I never G'd for that.
Especially when we see what the red hat meant to people on January 6th, and you still talking about I still wear the red hat. Like, but the thing is, and he said it, I don't read.
Yeah, he said I'm not well read.
I don't read. I guarantee he probably doesn't watch the news.
He's like, I'm not well read.
I venture to state
that's not a thing to celebrate.
That Kanye West doesn't even know. If you ask him, hey, what'd you think about January 6th? He'd be like, I don't even know what happened on January 6th.
He don't care.
He was like, he'd be like, was that the AFC Championship? He doesn't know what happened on January 6th.
Pause it there.
Like, here's somebody, I'm just going to keep it real. If you gave him a 7th grade civics test, he'd probably get a D-.
Lone, jump in, man. And we're gonna continue back around. Go ahead, man.
No, I'm not done. So, yeah, you got to come back over here.
I'm going to bring it back. I got you.
I mean, I don't...
Give me something now.
It was an interesting interview.
What was interesting about it?
One, I was very shocked to just see Kanye in public talking to anybody. That was the first thing.
Agreed.
Two, I'm tired of Kanye West. I'm just tired of
the
this
only reason
guy.
I listen to it is because of this show.
Like I'm tired. Like he's done enough in my lifetime where I don't need to hear about him anymore.
Forever.
I'm done.
I just got some new Yeezys.
That's cool.
That's cool.
I don't need to hear any more Kanye West things. He's given us great music throughout time. He is who he is, to Terry's point. He has consistently been who he is, and I don't like that person.
That's fair.
And so like, I get that he has mental problems.
He definitely does.
And I get that he's working through it, I think, to the best of his ability. But he is a narcissist. And to me, he is hip-hop's version of Donald Trump, and I don't like that. And I don't like... so as I'm listening to the interview, yes, there are certain parts it was kind of cool to see him, talk stuff about Jay, give Dame his props, talk about the Big Seagull. Like when he humbles himself a little bit, I can kind of take something in.
Those are the parts I like.
But he is so overwhelmed with him being the greatest person ever born in the history of the world, even though he seems to praise God. Okay. Like he thinks he is God. So I no matter what he says,
you might be a 7%er, man.
Don't do that.
Well, okay.
Hey, you said so. I caught something that you said earlier as we got started. As I was talking, I want to ask you about this. You said, if I quote you wrong, correct me. I believe you said something to the effect of he thinks he's so much better than he is as a producer.
I think.
Did you say? Is that what
me personally, I do believe that. I think he has an inflated ego around what he is and what he does
as a producer,
as an artist.
Okay.
Now, does this mean that he's not really good at what he does and has been really good at times? No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
But I think he has the struggles that every artist that really cares about the stuff that he does has, which is, do I continue to make something that people really like, or do I try something different and see what the result is going to be?
I don't think he knows how to make that anymore.
I don't think he does either. No, I don't think he does either. But when he's sitting over here and talking about like, I need 4 different verses for all of my different whatevers, I'm like, well, you'd lose 3 of them. Like, sure, like some of his stuff is like different in a different genre, and I can respect the creativity around it, but it doesn't mean that it's like this greatness that he proclaims it to be. And he has a way of trying to self-proclaim himself as a genius and as this greatness, and I just don't subscribe to that.
Disney.
I don't subscribe to that idea. So, like, I don't want to take away from the good parts, and I don't want to focus on the negative parts about this interview, because there were a lot of positives and all that other stuff. But there was a lot of stuff that he said that I was just like, man, shut up. Like, you don't have to go at Just Blaze like that.
That was completely unnecessary.
You don't have to go at Big Sean like that just because you feel slighted. 𝗂𝗏, like, I get that he feels like they slighted him.
They got to apologize.
But they don't have to apologize for him for him being a terrible person.
Has Kanye West ever apologized for anything?
No.
Does he apologize about the things he said about slavery was a choice? Did he apologize about saying the things he said about Harriet Tubman? So if he's not in line to apologize, then nobody owes him an apology either.
But he feels like he's owed that. Right, like that bleeds through him when he's talking about
Terry,
it.
let me ask you. I'm gonna come back around. Let me ask you this. One thing I noticed is Just Blaze, Big Sean in particular, both said something to the effect of, "Man, I was just with him. I was just talking to him. He just asked me about being on the project. We were just messaging and just texting about this, and this." So, how does that make you feel when you see people come out and say, "I was just with fam"? Like, does that give you the vibe that he was just fronting and stunting and taking advantage of the opportunity?
It depends on what that conversation was like. Like, was it an issue where they ran into each other somewhere, or was it something where they actually were together?
I see what
at the end of the day, I don't like that energy. I mean, I'm not one that's going to say that I'm going to act brand new in front of somebody and then get on the show and say something else. If I don't rock with you, I don't rock with you.
Right.
And you're probably going to know it in person because I'm not about to rub elbows with you or be friendly with you. I mean, that's 100%. Just what it is. But for him to say that Big Sean was his biggest failure is whack in itself.
Yeah, that's
I like Big Sean, but you signed Designer.
Yeah, you can't say nothing about
you
your
signed
biggest
Designer.
Mistakes when you signed Designer.
You signed Designer and you pretty much jacked this song. Used it for yourself.
Yeah, he did.
No, that's what I'm saying. You pretty much jacked this song, used it for yourself, and then left him out to dry. And he wasn't even great by far.
Because when that Timmy Turner stuff came up, we acted like that didn't even happen.
He's sitting there. He looked like Blind Fury. Shout out to Blind Fury.
He was cold. Blind Fury was cold.
He's still cold.
Not being funny, but the way he's snapping but he's not even rhyming good. Yeah. But I mean, he said some other things on that interview that was whack. Like when he was talking about you don't need a house. Now I understand the financial things as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
The whole, and I see hedge fund kids, they're making themselves homeless. That's not cool. For you to be able to, I'm going to do this.
That was his analogy.
Yeah, I'm going to do this experiment where I'm going to be homeless. Although I'm a hedge fund child, I probably got 10, 20, 30 million in the bank.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to live like a nomad, live off the land and, just kind of get this experience. That does not make you be able to relate to these people
at all,
because you can turn that switch off at any time. And that kind of goes back to race relations and things of that nature. That's a whole nother situation.
Yeah.
But I thought that was whack to compare what some hedge fund kids are doing. You are from the south side of Chicago, sir.
Well, he tried to make it like, since they do it,
since
like
it's cool. No,
cool.
That's not cool. That sounds like the older guy trying to fit in. You are from the south side of Chicago. Yeah. You need to be a little more down to earth and realize where you're from. I give you kudos for being for Chicago and coming up while Jordan was the man. Everybody wanted Jordan sneakers. Now you got your own Yeezy brand.
Yeah,
that's solid. Like, but there's certain ways and moves that you're responsible. Like we were talking about somebody maybe a couple shows ago about you have to be responsible for your actions because of the position that you're in.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, me being a Ye fan, he doesn't capitalize on his influence like he should. He doesn't, he sways it to the wrong side.
That's how I know that's how I know you can keep it a buck, because that is a fair assessment. That's as the Kanye West fan that you are, that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. I mean,
that's
he is who he is, but he definitely sways things to the wrong side of his influence at times.
Well, the thing is, when you are rich and you're find yourself, you've made a decision to be homeless, that's a whole lot more different than if you are poor or you've been coming off a situation.
Can't relate.
You have don't compare that, because look, if you are domicile insecure, and if you've ever been in that situation, there's nothing fun or adventurous about it. Okay, so it sounds good because he can paint a picture with his words, even though sometimes he uses words incorrectly, and that's fine because so do I. But
I did earlier.
You got to understand that, like, if he is in rarefied air, and like, I'll just be honest, there's a lot of things that people's like, oh, let's clap for that. Oh, he's a genius. It was he dropped some meme knowledge in there.
Meme,
because like he was like, yeah, and the Klan created Plan B. No, they didn't. All right. You know, that and Plan B and RU 486 are not the same thing. You know, do
That's
your
that right talk.
Do your Googles on that. And he tried to get this bar off twice. It was like, yeah, we elected Kamala Harris and we ain't seen her since. I was like, well, once again, considering what we saw in this last administration, like, we're not really supposed to see the vice president because she's the president of the Senate. She's there to.
We didn't see a lot of Pence either.
Yeah, because you know what these people are there to
You pay attention to what they want to pay
But
attention
the thing
to.
is,
There you go.
you're there. She's there to when, especially in a deadlock 50-50 Senate. She's there to cast the deciding vote. You know, but once again, Kanye West. Like I said, he'd probably get a D- on a civics test. So he's not interested in that. He thinks that's a bar. And he thinks, oh, because I supported Trump, I got to get these bars off to make Kamala Harris look bad. Also, you know, he said the whole thing about Big Sean is like, how you going to make your first single Ass? Ass was the third single. I know that because I was in the clubs at that time. The first single was Like It's My Last. The second was Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay, which you, Kanye West, were featured on.
Yeah.
So here's somebody on your label.
That's the one that was most popular.
Yeah. So like
and
when the Ass remix, we got to edit that some kind of way.
Do we?
No, we good on that. I think we
You
good on
know,
that.
hit with
We
Nicki
good on that.
Minaj, it went over huge.
I don't even know. Like,
So,
I think we clear on that.
you know,
one.
I mean, once again, you know, people will just be like, they'll run with it because they want to laugh and they want, but you know, a lot of the things he says where I was like, that was kind of dope. But at the same time, like, I'm listening to him keep talking about Balenciaga and Gap and, you know, but he wants to do all these things.
Virgil.
His peers.
And
These people are his peers.
and
That's what he said.
you know, and Louis Vuitton. And I was like, okay, maybe it is a means to an end, but to me, it sounds like you just trying to charge top dollar for the cotton that we already picked.
I mean, it's the
That's
truth. I mean,
tough.
he's literally living his label's name, getting out our dreams. And I don't fault him for that. I just fault him on his delivery. So if he came out, he's always been this artistic art student type individual. And this is the stuff that he was into. So him doing it is actually pretty dope. And it's inspiring to see somebody that wanted to do that type stuff and is actually doing it. What the fault is his deliverance and how he approaches it and shares it back to you. I understand it. So I understand the qualm as far as why people don't rock with him because of the way he does things.
I mean, but you did.
It's dope how he's been able to literally do these things.
But you did say also that there is still, in the midst of him, you know, accomplishing everything that he said he was going to do, and he's been speaking these mugs into existence since he started. So to your point, that's always a dope story. But you did also mention that there's a lack of accountability, not only in his
It's because he's a
presentation,
Gemini.
a lack of accountability and a lack of actual knowledge. Like, he keeps saying the whole thing about like he said, like, and I agree with, I was like, that was kind of dope when he said the thing about, like, you know, why we gotta have Black History Month instead of Black Future. But at the same time, every time you bring up Black history, all you talk about is dogs and water hoses and slavery. I was like, what about Garrett A. Morgan or Benjamin Banneker, or the great inventors?
It's all about
like,
the context.
context is important.
It's true, but I was like, you know, if your Black history program in your mind is nothing but slavery and dogs and we shall overcome, then I understand why you would say that. But like, we've contributed so much to this country, so much to this world, and I see, like, slavery. I could talk about Black history and never get into slavery or the dogs and the water hoses, because what we've contributed globally is so much more than that. Now, like I said, I think the whole idea of Black Future Month, yeah, that's dope too. But like, I think he has this whole, like I said, I think there's a part of him, and like I said, this still kind of. And this is and this is going to be controversial. You get, and everybody listen, you get mad at me. There's still a part of him that's just ashamed of the things that Black people had to go through, and he's always pushed this proximity to white greatness that has always bothered me. Like, when he talks about being in these rooms with these people, he wants
was name
us.
dropping so
he
much.
wants us.
He said he was going to do it too.
He said
That don't make it better.
He wants us to be impressed that he's been in the room with these white people. And like I said, you know, when we had like the show that wasn't a show, I said, I said that, you know, who is a Kanye West fan? Yeah. And I still to this day believe it's people who are impressed by uber wealth, access to celebrity, and access and you know, there's two exotic white women, and
I am none of those.
I'm just saying,
you're holding on by a thread.
Yeah. You know,
I mean, you're trying,
but I'm saying, like, you know, think about how long Kanye West has been making music, and like, you know,
Terry don't check off any of them.
Hey, like there are other categories we can get into, but it's all good. Yeah. But you know.
If you said shoes now, then they might have.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, there are people who who enjoy the antics of Kanye West.
I would agree.
Who don't even know any of the songs off of, you know, Late Registration. They know I'm
gonna call him out on his BS though.
They know about the $1,800 homeless T-shirt, you know, that he tried to sell. You know, like, and that's another thing where he talks about how we're controlled by these brands and things. I was like, yes, but once again.
He tried to sell us like he is gonna be a brand.
Your valuation,
he is a brand.
But that's
the reason you're a billionaire is because once again you're trying to get with these white folks to sell us back the cotton that we already picked.
That's a bar.
So I don't really want to. You know, it's hard to hear from you.
Hold on, hold that thought. Hold on, real quick.
Kanye West.
I'm coming back to you.
Okay.
Different angle.
All right.
Influence.
Okay.
He talked about he was cooking right there, by the way. Both of y'all, actually. Influence, Future. He named Future as being the most. I think it was the last. What was it? Was it 10 years?
Something like that, man. You know how I feel about it.
He mentioned Soulja Boy too, and then
top 5 with Soulja Boy.
Top 5 Soulja Boy, and I laughed when he said, "Did y'all hear the verse?" I cracked up when he said that because I'm sure that verse was trash.
No, I heard the verse and it was trash.
And Soulja Boy went off online. That's another story, but. I kind of felt like that was going to be T-Pain. And I sat back and thought about it. I'm thinking he might be right with Future. Like, what were your thoughts on that?
It depends on what exactly we're talking about. I feel like T-Pain was before T-Pain's influence on the entire genre of hip hop is crazy.
Come on, man.
Especially because of, I mean, obviously the auto-tune influence, but also his production and his singing. Man. Like
Come on, man.
That boy need his flowers.
T-Pain is an exceptional musician and an exceptional influence. So
I've seen that boy live.
Yeah, and he's dope.
Yeah,
he killed that.
And he's funny, and he seems like a good person.
The Tiny Desk made me a believer because.
But
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I can see where I don't want to like. I get the Future influence because
I get it.
There's no denying the Future has also then beyond that influenced a whole generation of.
Yeah,
I must have been in a whole nother dimension.
Nah, you ain't miss it. No, you didn't. You ain't miss it. It's out there. You ain't miss it.
It's still there. Anybody that sing raps a little bit.
Yeah, that's from Future.
Anybody, like if you think about all the kids,
it really
now,
is. Though.
Honestly, I can hear Future in Lil Baby. I can hear Future in Da Baby. Like there is
Migos.
Yeah, I can.
Which influenced the whole. You know, it's like
if you think about it though, Terry, if you really think about it and look at. The starter kit. I feel you on that. If you look at the starter kit for a lot of these artists, they're gonna do what they said. The sing rapping with the auto tune. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna look like Lil Wayne. Like these are starter kit things that you see. Lil Wayne's still influencing the culture, and he came out.
Yeah.
How long ago? And every kid you see 98. Got dread, got the locks, the tats, face tats. That's Wayne. All that's Wayne. But to Future's point with the auto tune and the singing and the melodies and how melodic some of these records are, that's him.
I think it's him, and I think it. You know, inspiration and influence always has an earlier point. Always. So like. Even before T-Pain, something inspired him to do the things that he was doing. Probably.
Roger Troutman.
I don't know.
Do your research.
Well, yeah, but he flipped it a completely different way.
Because he wasn't using the vocoder.
100%.
And he wasn't using it. He wasn't using it how it was supposed to be used. He's just like, I'm just going to turn it all the way on.
True.
True. But yeah, I mean, I guess I can dig it. I guess that was one of the comments where I was just like, I can see that, and maybe I don't know. It's so easy.
What about the Soulja Boy comment?
I laugh.
No, I agree too.
Yeah, I laugh.
I agree. No, I
thought you were talking about that.
I think Soulja Boy's music is horrible, but There's no denying his influence.
Oh my God, when he talks about
He opened up doors.
he opened up a lot of doors.
There's no denying his
Like
influence.
it basically showed every artist you can, if you're not going to try to be a part of this internet revolution and social media, then honestly you don't have a lane here.
Like you talked about not hearing music from here on out. I don't have to hear nothing else from
either.
Soulja Boy ever, but I'll never knock his influence.
No, can't.
I never knock his influence.
We talking about somebody that's set for life as long as he don't mess up.
Facts.
Soulja Boy is that guy.
Facts. You know what? I think we pretty much hit. Is there anything that we missed? You guys think that was standout moments? We talked about the beans. The beans kind of came after the fact. I heard there's actually a part 2 of this.
Oh, really?
They're gonna do. Yeah, I heard it's gonna be a part 2.
Wow.
I don't know if I got you for that.
If you've enjoyed this segment of the New Old Heads podcast, make sure you join our live show every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/newoldheads.